All right. Hello, my Facebook people and my Instagram people. What's good? What's good? What is this? I think it's a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, as they like to say. I am super excited to be here. I am joining you live, or at least I'm attempting to join you live. It seems like I am having some connection issues, but we're going to just keep it pressing so I can see how far along we get with this journey. I may have to say goodbye to my folks over at Instagram, but join me on Facebook on the Tizu. I'll be there. Be there, be square. All right, so now that I got my Facebook people all ready to go, hello, my name is Shahara, public speaking coach and trainer. I help entrepreneurs speak with more confidence, credibility, and clarity. And more than anything, especially in this virtual space, I am helping you dominate the Tizu, okay? Everyone, well, not everyone, but you look at TV stars. Guess what everybody is right now with Zoom and Cisco WebEx and all of these different platforms that we're using? Yes, you are. And you're saying to yourself, I'm doing these lives, I'm invited to panels, I'm doing conferences. I need to up my game. I need my confidence to match how awesome I am in everything that I do. If that's one of you, I'm just telling you, you want to stay tuned. I got a couple of people who are tuned in. So why don't you let me know who you are, where you calling from? Is Jersey in the house, California in the house? Detroit in the house. I'm just throwing out some cities, but if you are in the building, I'm very happy that you're here. I'm going to talk about something that you may not necessarily always put with, and when I say put with, that you may not necessarily consider can help you in your public speaking, right? When you are communicating, expressing yourself, you've got ideas, insights, sentiments, feelings. And when you're communicating those, whether it's to 2 people or 20 people, 200 people, 2,000 people, you're constantly thinking to yourself, like, are they feeling me, right? And a lot of times you're kind of sometimes getting to yourself and maybe second guessing whether or not you said what you were supposed to say. All right, Hal, what up, Hal? Coming in from BK. Good to see you again. I knew it was probably some Northeasterns out there somewhere, but you're probably thinking to yourself, sometimes you finish up what you're saying, and then maybe you're like, I could have done better. I forgot to say this, or that was okay. I kind of did a good job. But you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel like, yes, I did that. You want to feel good about what you're presenting to the world, not just your ideas, but even how you're presenting your ideas. And so I titled this one about the one thing that you can do in order to really transform your public speaking skills, okay? And it's more so than just something. It's something that you didn't think that you could. And I put this as one arrogant thought. Here we go, right? And I know that typically you don't want to come across as arrogant. You've seen speakers who come across as arrogant, maybe full of themselves, slightly conceited, boastful, and you don't get good vibes from them, right? And I totally understand. None of us want to come across that way. However, there was probably a point at that arrogant speaker, that arrogant talker that you have come across. There's probably at some point where they weren't that arrogant, okay? Maybe it grew and it grew and it grew. It just became something that they just kind of fixated on, and now they just can't get rid of it, But the thing about it is it doesn't necessarily hurt when you know that you may be speaking from a confidence deficit. Ooh, let's get into it. So I say that one arrogant thought can transform your speaking skills. And I say it like this. So on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 10 being I am confident, not arrogant, okay? But I am confident, I am assured of myself, I believe in myself. That's a 10, right? And then maybe 1 down here where, yes, I second guess myself. I don't feel like I have a lot of confidence. In fact, I show up, I speak a lot, but I don't necessarily feel the best about my performance sometimes, right? That scale of 1 to 10. Now let's just say that you're on a 7. You're confident, you feel good about it, but you could give more. So you're just kind of rating yourself as a 7, which is cool, which is fine. But I think that sometimes rating yourself as a 7 is where the problem puts you. It's where you plateau at the problem. And the problem is you're only rating yourself as a 7. Sometimes it may benefit you to just go ahead and give yourself a 10. Make yourself feel good. Tell yourself that you've done a great job, even if maybe you have a couple of second thoughts about it, even if maybe you kind of second guess about it. And the reason why I do that is, here's an example. A lot of times in acting schools, you go maybe to an improv. They tell you to be bigger, louder, and brighter than your normal self, to exaggerate whatever the character is so that you can bring out just a little bit more. If you play it safe, you don't stumble upon the characteristics or the traits or the sayings that quite possibly could be the things that make that character oh so awesome. So when you walk into an acting class, oftentimes you have to exaggerate how you feel. Really give the emotions a bigger feel, especially if you're taking acting classes for on stage. Because if you're smiling like this, it may work like close up. But when you have to project all the way to the people in the back, you're going to have to be a lot more expressive. You're going to have to really shape your mouth and your eyebrows and move your arms. Doing all this extra stuff that I sometimes do, right? But that takes you outside of yourself. So if a person walked into an acting class and they decided to start acting at a 5, then you would probably see something like a 5. But if they take it up and exaggerate it and imagine it as, okay, if I'm going from a 5, let me see how I could feel if I imagine what a 10 would feel like. And then all of a sudden, their energy goes up a little bit. Their expressions are a bit more tangible. Their voice becomes a bit more expressive. It's the exaggeration that allows you to see more of what they're doing. It doesn't mean that their 5 wasn't good. It just means that when you try to push to a 7 or push to an 8 or, dare I say, push to a 10, you start to emit a different type of energy, a different type of behavior. Your mannerisms change just a tad bit in order for you to start feeling something other than what you said was a 5. So now, were y'all with me? Where y'all at? I know I got some other people. I know it's not just Hal hanging out here with me. Go ahead and put some comments. And I'm just curious if you've ever taken any acting classes, if any of my people have ever taken any improv. I'm just curious to know if you've ever done that, whether you consider yourself a seasoned speaker or not. Have you ever taken any improv classes or any acting classes? Because then you can kind of get what this concept is all about. So now, bringing it back to speaking, if you feel as if you're just a 7, and you keep saying, I'm a 7, and you keep showing up because you're like, yeah, I'm about a 7, I'm going to see what I'm going to be this speaking engagement, then odds are you're probably going to stay a 7. So when I say you've got to have that one arrogant thought, that one arrogant thought could mean you show up saying, I am a 10 first, and then allow yourself to show up as a 10. Don't go in as I was a 7 the other day. Let's see how I show up today. If in your last Facebook Live video or maybe your last speaking engagement, you felt that you were a 7, decide before you start speaking that you're going to show up as a 10 and then say you're going to catch up to whatever that 10 may feel like. Maybe you push a little bit more. Maybe you're a bit more expressive. Maybe you're leaning into the camera more. Maybe you're using more of your hands, even though sometimes you're like, what am I supposed to do with these, right? Like, are they supposed to stay here? Anyways, but do whatever you feel necessary in order to get outside of your comfort zone. So with that, I'm going to take it to the next level, right? You kind of got the basic principle. But give me an amen or a hands in the chat. Put HANDS in the chat. Let me know that you're with me about what it means to have an arrogant thought. And most times, yeah, you wouldn't think that, just claiming that you're a 10 when you may feel like a 7 is an arrogant thought, but it's a move in the right direction. Now, I'm going to share something else with you that may help you shift furthermore this idea about how an arrogant thought can transform your speaking. And you may want to write this down, okay? I'm just saying. What up, Erica? Yes, thank you for the hands. I appreciate that. So here's the thing about an arrogant thought, right? And there's a couple of words that when you think about arrogance, that may come to mind, right? So some of those words, if you have words, go ahead and put it in the chat so I know what you're talking about. But if you have words that you associate with arrogance, share them in the chat. A few that I definitely kind of first think about is if somebody is arrogant, then they may feel superior, right? Like they're superior. I am so much better than the rest of these peons, right? I think arrogance also is about a feeling entitled, right? Like you're like you deserve something even though you didn't put in the work for it. You know, like, oh, it's just supposed to be yours just because, right? So I want to kind of take those two examples about how perhaps these arrogant thoughts can help you. And can help you really take your confidence level to the next step, right? If you're a 7, having that one arrogant thought can get you to feeling more like a 10, or at least can get you to an 8. And then another arrogant thought the next time you speak can get you to a 9 until you start practicing and filling yourself up with this. So this word superior, which is also associated with arrogance, is this sense of superiority, like I am better than, I am above the rest, I am the cream of the crop, I am the needle in the haystack, right? I am the diamond in the rough. Ooh, those were a lot. Well, let me tell you, I didn't know I had all of those little sayings. But that sense of superiority is also necessary to start within here. A lot of times people think that public speaking is so much of the practice of speaking than it is the spirit of speaking. So this is a concept about the spirit of speaking. So I want to ask you this. You don't want to feel arrogant. You don't want to come across arrogant, but do you feel that you are superior when it comes to your space of expertise? Do you? Do you feel like you're superior than others when it comes to certain things that you do? If you ask your grandma or auntie about who makes the best macaroni and cheese, they will speak with a bit of arrogance, like, oh, you know, Louise isn't better than my, sweet potato pie or whatever, whatever it is. They have an air of superiority. I don't care what type of ingredients that she uses. She's never going to be better than me. Oh, you see how that can play just a tad bit into how you want to transform the way that you speak, the way that you present yourself, the way that you show up, and your essence? To have just a smidget, a tad, a thought of superiority. Because if you don't feel superior, if you don't feel that you are extraordinary, if you don't feel like you're remarkable, then why do you think that your confidence should be a 10? And if you don't think you're those things, then you're thinking you're unremarkable, huh? Then maybe you're thinking you're normal. Maybe you think that you're ordinary. To have a thought of arrogance, just a thought, not to live in arrogance, not to believe in arrogance, but to have a thought of arrogance can also be associated in this space of realizing that I am not normal. I am not ordinary. I am not unremarkable. I am remarkable. I am extraordinary. I am not normal. I am special. And if that's not the mentality that you already have in your mind, then there's no wonder why your confidence isn't up there. Really quickly, this space of feeling entitled. If you didn't feel entitled, then you probably feel, these are the opposites. If you don't feel entitled, then you probably feel denied, like you're not supposed to be there. This is about imposter syndrome. Woo-hoo. Did I hit a nerve? If you have feelings of imposter syndrome, then you can afford more arrogance. You can afford a sense of superiority. You can afford a feeling of entitlement. You need to let go of feeling of rejection or not belonging or what's another one? Oh, or feeling like disallowed, like you aren't allowed in spaces. When you are invited or when you create a space for your voice to be heard, I need you to feel entitled. I need you to feel superior. Maybe not superior over everybody, because I don't make no good macaroni and cheese, okay? So I am not going into a space and feeling feelings of superiority over somebody who knows how to cook. But I will go into spaces knowing that I am entitled, knowing that I am allowed in a space, knowing that I am not denied, knowing that I am accepted. You know, like these are the feelings that when I speak on public speaking, for sure, maybe a little bit on like natural hair, but but when I go into spaces about public speaking, the area of my expertise, I know that I am good. I know that I am great. I know that I'm extraordinary. I know that I'm remarkable. Like that is the thought of arrogance that can help you transform the way that you speak. Perhaps you don't have that thought of arrogance about your speaking skills, but I need you to have that thought of arrogance about your area of expertise. When you speak about what you know, what you're an expert on, you better feel superior about that subject matter. Because if you don't feel superior of that subject matter, then the people you talking to ain't gonna believe you. And if they ain't gonna believe you, you gonna feel it. And if you gonna feel it, you gonna start second guessing yourself. And there goes your confidence, whoop, whoop, on the floor. And you're embarrassed to pick it up. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So one thought of arrogance, and I just think about superiority or feeling entitled, knowing that you belong, feeling accepted, knowing that you're celebrated. These thoughts of quote unquote arrogance that you may not think could help you can. And if you are moving from a confidence deficit, meaning that you don't have a well overflowing with confidence, then you, my dear, can afford a thought or maybe 5 of arrogance, just to propel you into a space where you feel yourself, where you feel your expertise, where you feel where you are certain and understand and believe your ideologies, your methodologies, like whatever it is, your sentiments, even just yourself. When you tell the story of self, you should be feeling superior because you're the only one that can tell the story like you. Your mama may be able to, but not like you. She don't know everything. She may be able to tell your childhood, but not your adulthood, okay? Anywho, that's my thought for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all so much for joining me. I want to hear whether or not you've taken some acting classes. I want to hear whether or not, we got some comments. I should have scrolled down. Snap, snap, snap. I miss just having the thoughts of arrogance or being able to conquer even if I don't win. And the thing about it, Crystal, is even if you don't win, you know what a thought of arrogance is? I still win. I win. I don't lose. I win. I don't lose. I always win. I do not lose. I just don't. Period. And that's the confidence that you want to use, Crystal. Erica's like, yes, I feel you. I didn't realize all of these things, the comments be scrolling down. I'd be missing all the stuff. Anywho, so yes, I hope this was helpful to everybody. And what I also do want to share with you is if you are looking for spaces to improve your public speaking skills, to speak with more confidence, credibility, and clarity. And when I say confidence, I'm talking about the X factor, the charm, the je ne sais quoi, okay? I definitely highly suggest that you apply. I have a group coaching program called Privilege. It's 8 weeks long, and I know that we have so many different speaking platforms, new virtual stages that we're operating on, from panels to conference keynotes, to podcasts, to all of that stuff. I definitely want you to apply. Let me get you. Oh, hey Tim, what up, cuz? Let me put the link in the comments. But this is going to be, and I'm also going to pin it so that you guys have it. But this is an amazing experience. I had a great opportunity to exchange with some amazing entrepreneurs this summer and during COVID, of course. And the program went off to an amazing start. And now I'm inviting new people to join in on the cohort. So please, please, please do apply. That will also set up a suitability call with me so that we can determine if privilege would be a good fit for you, determining what your needs are. Where do you feel? If you feel that confidence deficit, then I can definitely tell you that's probably where we need to be. You need to be with me. But make sure you click the link. Make sure you apply. Share this with someone else too. If this isn't just for you, but you know that someone else could benefit, you better hook them up. You better send them an early birthday gift, okay? So that's my call to action. I'm out of here. I was going to spend a little less time today, but y'all, I just be getting into it. And I'm getting hot. I'm sweating a little bit. Make sure you apply for privilege. Hope to speak with you soon. Ta-ta.